Call the meeting to order of the Laverne Planning Commission, September the 25th, 2012. We determined that a quorum is present. We'll take a motion approval of the minutes.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd make a motion to accept as submitted.
I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. As we look at the agenda, the old business, Ms. Costanza, we need to move the preliminary plat down, don't we?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. We'll go to new business, the concept plan, Pinnacle Point, 77.48 acres. Property located along Walden Road, tax map 32, parcel 24, R1 zoning district, parcel owned by Deluxe Homes. Ms. Costanza.
Okay. As you'll see in your report, we did receive all of the items that we asked for in the July meeting, the drainage study, water sewer availability, the traffic study, and the construction traffic control documents. And therefore, all technical items have been addressed for what we asked for. At the workshop, since the majority of you weren't there, we did have a slight discussion about making sure that if we do move forward with this, we would like to see that the developer install the striping on Waldron Road and Stony Point Drive, which is shown on the recorded plat of Phase 1, and it was also recommended in the traffic study that we received in August. So I just wanted to make that note for you. But otherwise, all the items have been addressed, and we have received all the documentation that we asked for.
Since Mr. Jones has shown up, I will yield to the chairman.
I apologize for my tardiness.
So just a question for the applicant then, is that acceptable as far as the striping? Okay, with that being said then, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the concept plan as submitted, subject to the recommending striping at Walden Road and Stony Point as recorded on the plan, recommended by the traffic study.
Okay, I have a motion to accept as submitted, subject to the recommendations mentioned. Do I hear? I'm sorry, one moment. Which one are we doing?
We had to move this one down because we got to do the concept.
Right.
before we do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, may we have some discussion, please?
Sure.
Now that we have a motion and a second. I do. I love the houses out here. I think they're beautiful. I think it's a lovely area. I think it's something we could be very, very proud of. We already are. But what assurances do we have? You, by your own admission, have stated that there's been financial uncertainty with this project, by your own admission. What do we have that this phase is going to be completed? What assurances that do we have that this is going to be completed?
I think the attorneys were working on that. Your attorney that's helping.
No, I'm talking about phase 3, the one that we're voting on right now. I'm talking about phase 3. I'm talking about this one right here in front of us tonight.
Answer or Enoch Gerald with Huddleston Steel Engineering. Scott Bowie, Scott, but I mean, we'll be submitting construction plans once all this is approved, and the city will post, require bonds before we do final plats. So you'll have, sureties from that point. I'll let Scott sort of address his plan from a development side of what his plans are.
I guess your question as far as the next phase is, you're saying as far as dealing with the banks or selling the houses or the
you're
market?
asking to build this phase.
Yes, ma'am.
What assurances do we have that this phase is going to be completed? Phase 3.
Phase 3. Well, of course, you set the bond, and then the bank posts the bond to ensure that. That's why, and I think you guys have planned on doing the bonds different this go-around as far as maybe increasing them more and maybe increasing them after the next year and the next year and the next year. I think they increase as they escalate, as the time goes on. So there's insurance there, but, but there's, the banks have already agreed to work with me as far as loaning me the money because, they don't really, the project has to, the only way to finish it is for them to loan me money. So that's the only way to finish it. As far as the sales, the last, even in bad times, there's only doing 2 or 3 houses and they still sold, so, as far as the market is it's starting to improve and I think people are starting more homes and a lot of contractors are building new starts and stuff. I know they are in Smyrna's going pretty good and stuff, but I feel that that's still a good location out there as far as that's what it's all based on. As long as the houses sell, then that just keeps the money flowing and keeps paying the bills and the interest, and then I can, I have to continue to stay in the project from this phase to the next phase to the next phase to pay the banks back. And that's my goal, is to complete each phase. And that's why, it's unheard of that if somebody has a bond that's paid, for them to come back and step up and honor the difference, and that's what I'm trying to do, is make it right so it can continue a business relationship in the future and do what's right by this project and stuff, because I don't want, any bad feelings with anybody or anything. So we're trying to, just trying to do what you guys need and what the subdivision needs too, to make it, a good home place for people to
Mayor, I'll add to that, we're 95% with the construction plans. Scott, a few weeks ago, authorized us to go ahead and get those done, ready to submit. We'll be submitting those this week. He's moving forward. He's not waiting to see. He's moving forward, ready to go. So we'll be submitting construction plans, and then we'll be submitting the final plat after we get our construction plans approved with all of our easements and those kind of things within the next few months. So he's moving forward with the project.
Thank you all very much for answering my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're going to go back to a preliminary plat, Pinnacle Point Phase 3, 9.24 acres, property located at Monmouth Drive, tax map 032, part of partial 24, R1 zoning district, partial owned by Deluxe Homes. Ms. Costanza?
Okay, as you see in your packet, we looked at this back in mid-July. It came through the workshop. All of the technical items that we asked needing to be addressed were addressed by the end of July. The item was deferred because the concept plan had been denied. So essentially, it is still in the same. Nothing's changed since the end of July, when they did give us an updated preliminary plat with all the items addressed.
Any questions?
Did the issue of the water pump station get resolved?
Not as we speak. No, sir.
Can the applicant stand up and just answer the question, what's going on with that, please? Just to reference in the concern of the area about the pumping station out there and the capacity and how it'll be handled, or how it is being handled.
Yes, sir. I guess the city really provided this information. I've been dealing with Mr. Greg Skinner. He made a request to Griggs and Maloney. They sent our letter to Greg August the 24th relating to the tank and the pumps and the conditions out there. And in an email that Greg sent, that he said he approves I have that email, I can read it for you. And he had maybe he said cautiously approves, but let's see, well, I've got that email, but Greg said that he approved the water supply for the project. Here it is right here. Both availability analysis are complete, while sewer is not an issue. Water supply is a concern, but we are addressing the capital improvements in-house. And it said that, by the summary, we cautiously approve your request. So he basically says that he's approved the request for water supply for the 155 lots. I mean, this email was sent to me from Greg and copied a lot of the staff here, Mayor as well. I'll be glad to leave that.
It's actually in your packet.
Okay. So,
Good stuff, not to put you on the spot, but any thoughts or recommendations on that area?
As far as the water,
Yes.
it's something that the city's gonna have to do. I mean, we've got the public works director, like he's saying he cautiously approves it, so I guess he's looked into it enough to make that statement, but it's one thing that the city's definitely gonna have to do in the near future is we're gonna have to move forward with this pump station project and some other improvements infrastructure-wise to make sure that we don't have any shortages like we have the past few summers.
and what I understood from Greg, it's yes, there's a few more homes out here, but it's really more of a system-wide need, more so than just the subdivision requiring this. So that's the reason he said that the city was moving forward with those improvements. What I understood from Greg, discussions with.
We are working, but we've yet to do that, and so it's still at the appraisal, so we don't even have a with that.
I mean, you do understand the concern about this. What we're gonna have to look at in the future. I mean, if this is approved, if this section is approved and that, in the future, those other improvements probably have to be made before any more sections can be approved, I would think. I mean, from what I'm hearing anyway.
Yeah, that's something you could definitely look at, is if it continues. I mean, like Scott was saying a while ago, just a few homes. I don't know how many he's planning on doing a year, but it's probably won't be a lot. The improvements may be done by the time he actually gets to another phase, so it may not be an issue. But if he was to sell all these lots real quick and then move to the next phase, then it may be an issue that we need to look at.
I mean, I'm just bringing up a point to make sure y'all aware of it.
Right.
That's the thing. We don't be going into it blindly. We know
Right.
today where we are.
Well, and I mean, that's the reason, I guess, for the letter and the request is part of this whole concept plan to find out and you know,
Well, the word cautiously approves concerns me.
right.
Concerns me. It would concern all of us, I would hope. You know.
I mean, if I already had the land,
Yeah.
I'd be a little more comfortable,
Yeah.
but if it comes back, there's no assurances that I even can get that piece of property back. So we're not even locked in on the land yet, much less the building of the station.
Scott, question for you. With the lots there for this phase, historically, with your experience, how long do you think it'll take to build that out?
To develop it, it'd probably take at least 6 months. We're going into the winter months, and at least probably a year and a half, you know.
So a year and a half?
Maybe 2 years, but on the conservative, you know, maybe a year and a half to 2 years. Yeah, I'd say at least 18 months.
My question goes back to you, Mr. Mayor. Do we think in the next 18 to 24 months we can get this secured? You have no guarantees?
There's no guarantees. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd have that property bought. We've got our engineering firm, Riggs and Maloney, sitting on ready. I believe they've already started to plan out what the pumping station, the last meetings that we've had, what they want there, et cetera, et cetera. But you know, dealing with the state. We started this in January, I believe it was. Our first phone call was January. They told us it would be definitely September before we hear anything. Now we're here in October. But we have made it to the appraisal state, which they go in, they appraise the land and come back with the appraisal price. And we've not gotten that price yet. I mean, it could come back, but it's above our budget. I mean, I wish I could honestly sit here and say it would make it a lot easier on all of us. But we just can't assure you that it can be done. Just can't do it.
Well, I mean, with these 20 lots right here, are they so critical to the point that it strained the system? That'd be another question. Because, I mean, the way I read the paragraph, it says any additional proposal for development will require close scrutiny, but for now. And when you read it that way, but for now, CTI, the sewer approves, and Griggs and Maloney Water cautiously approves your request. So is the 20 lots going to be a breaker? That's the question. I mean, what do you think, Kyle? I mean, do you have an opinion?
Depends on if we're at 30%.
I was gonna say,
You know.
it totally depends on the tank level.
Yeah.
If it gets down, of course, it's gonna be, additional 20-something lots, but do I think those 20 lots is gonna cause the tank to get below that level? I don't think the 20 lots is gonna cause that. So, I mean, probably these 20 lots is not gonna have that much of an effect on this. Now, when we start talking about every phase out there and 150-something lots more, then yeah, that probably could have
That's why I was bringing it
more of an effect.
Go about that. Or any other development in the city that come available, right?
Right.
So that's what we've got to look at. So, I mean, this is what's before us right now, though. So, thank you.
Well, Scott, obviously, you've been working with us, but obviously you understand the issue that we could have after this next phase. So if this phase gets accepted and then you come back for other phases, you probably know what's going to happen.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, if it's not built out. So I want to make you understand that.
Yes, sir.
This board will be the same board will be here when you come back, so we'll work with you on this one. But the other phases, let's just be, let's work with the city to ensure that the rest of the neighbourhood does not have an impact with the city water and sewer.
Yes, sir, we understand.
With that, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept this submitted.
I have a motion to accept as submitted. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank y'all very much.
Next, we have a recommendation recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, acceptance of Blair Oak subdivision.
I'd like to withdraw my application for acceptance tonight. We haven't completed the total checklist. We'll have it ready within a few days.
Okay, you're going to withdraw or defer? You want to withdraw?
I'd like to withdraw.
Okay. Motion is withdrawn. Thank you, sir. Next, we have a bonds and notes of credit update.
Mr. Chairman, everything is up to date. Closest one coming up is Blair Oaks that we're discussing now, so I'll be in talks with the bank on that. I've been in discussions with them on the maintenance letter of credit, and they said it wouldn't be no issue to extend this other one. Just we needed to know if they was going to get accepted or not. So with that withdrawal, know what to ask for at this point. So I'll be just in discussions with the bank tomorrow.
Any other questions from the board? Again, I apologize for my tardiness. Meeting is adjourned.